What's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrifice my time so you don't have to. Truth be told, honestly, it's not as if I really want to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock per se. Like, I do want to see it for the attraction that it is, but it's not as if I always wanted to see it in this position, in this predicament, if you will. Especially not for the World Championship. And if I even alluded to it in the past, let me just say that I'm having second thoughts about it right now, honestly. Even though I kind of feel like I didn't have second thoughts about it, it was more so like just me using a logical common sense reading on the situation and saying that, okay, yeah, it makes sense for Rock and Roman to be like the WrestleMania main event. I still hold true to that. I don't mind it being the WrestleMania main event. I don't mind it being the headline, but not in these circumstances. There's absolutely, like, as much as I'm having fun right now doing the circuit tour of going to different conferences and telling people to suck my dick because I told you so, in all honesty, in the back of my mind, I am saying to myself, this is a horrible fucking idea. Not Rock versus Roman, but doing it like this. How they set it up. All that, this was so convoluted. This was so complicated. And just the circumstances of putting the World Championship in the mix of all of this. Nah, that I wouldn't have done it this way. That's the one thing I'm agreeing with everybody on. Yeah, this wasn't the smart this wasn't the smart thing. I mean, if you ask me, personally speaking, I would definitely have preferred for, like, it's very, very hard to say. I mean, if you asked me how I would have done it, and people would have probably been like, Devontae, really? At least it would have been like at a Big Four show. I probably would have had Roman drop the belt to Randy, and then went to go do Randy and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and then still had Seth Rollins and CM Punk if he was still around. I understand what they're doing. I get it. You got CM Punk, his triceps couldn't hold on, brother. Got to work on that triceps, Punk. All right, skipping leg day, skipping arm day. This is what happens. But, it shouldn't have gone down this way. And I do feel bad for Cody Rhodes. Honest to God, I do feel bad for Cody Rhodes. I feel bad for the fans. And, as much as a spectacle that is going to be, that I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with, I just disagree with the fact that the title has to be on the line. And I disagree with the fact that you shouldn't have gone about it this way, especially with everything that went down last night as far as the booking was considered. In the end of the day, I do feel like you could have probably gotten at least 3 good, solid matches out of this if you would have took the belt off of Roman at WrestleMania last year. You know what I mean? As much as I disagree with that shitty booking as far as the story is considered going into WrestleMania, I still say that's top 3 worst WrestleMania builds of all time. In hindsight, you probably should take the belt off. Now, it's weird because I do have a different dynamics when looking at this. I felt like Roman should have held the belt last year only because the storyline was so fucking shit. But it's not as if I wasn't looking at Cody to take the belt off of Roman overall. Had the story made sense, had the story been good, then I would have been okay with it. But now looking at it in hindsight, I'm looking at it like, damn, maybe Cody should just take the belt off, even with the story being shit. So I'll let you guys have that. See how charitable I am? I'm throwing it out there, especially for the new fans who's, some of the new fans who are unfamiliar with my Millennial Smart channel. I was one of the guys pulling for Roman Reigns to retain the championship belt, not because I didn't want Cody to win it, but because I thought the rivalry, the story going into WrestleMania was so fucking garbage that I looked at it and I was like, I don't feel like this is the right time for Cody to win the belt, because the story being told is essentially just telling me that no, this is just not the right time. I just don't like the story at all. I'm one of those people. And in hindsight, you could tell me that I told you so, Devontae, because yeah, maybe it was probably, even with the shitty story, maybe it was probably best for Roman to drop that belt to Cody last year. Maybe that was what was best for business. Because now I look at it and it's like, damn, maybe Roman should have dropped the belt to Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble to maybe, at the very least, we could have gotten Cody and Randy Orton. You could have still got Roman versus Rock for the, with no championship belt on the line. And then you would have Seth Rollins versus probably Gunther, most likely, champion versus champion. But then that kind of, but then you kind of fuck yourself up too at the same time, because like, where does that leave the world championship, right? Or either championship, one of those championship belts ain't main event in WrestleMania, because Rock and Roman's gonna main event WrestleMania. But then with Rock and Roman main eventing for this championship belt right here, you just, especially after last night with how you prepped out the championship belt, you essentially just said that championship belt that Seth Rollins has is the Intercontinental Championship belt, essentially, right? That's what you're doing. That's what you did. Which is why I say that the brand split, if you really, 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 really would have went out of your way to promote the brand split really, really strong, that belt could have stood on its own. Because even, like, think about it, WrestleMania 19 for a second, right? Even with Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle main eventing for the World Championship, even with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, that World Heavyweight Championship belt still felt like it was on par with the Undisputed Championship belt, because a guy like Triple H held it. You get what I'm saying? There was a certain prestige about it that still kept it on par with the Undisputed Championship belt, even though it was probably third on the card in terms of priority. And with all due respect to Booker T, in comparison to everybody else on the card, him wrestling for that championship belt, it somehow still felt like it was on par with the World Championship belt. I think, honestly, the brand split, it being so weak, and them consistently, have this talent going on this show, have this talent going on this show, I think it would have probably helped out a lot if they would have stayed true to the brand split this entire year. I really do. And there are other factors that play into this, because people are really, really upset by this, to the extent that I think they really probably screwed themselves with The Rock. Like, in terms of The Rock getting booed at WrestleMania and shit, there's a strong possibility that might happen. There's a strong possibility that The Rock, and they're going to Philadelphia, that's a smart audience. That's a smart territory right there. There's a good shot that they're going to boo The Rock. You guys ain't hear Die Rocky Die in about 30 years almost. Well, get ready to experience it, because there's a possibility that shit might happen, man. Oh, man, people are saying The Rock, called a shot, The Rock this, The Rock that. People aren't really taking into context all the things that went into this as to why this decision was most likely made. Let's go down the priorities real quick as far as what I believe fucked over Cody Rhodes in the end of the day. First and foremost, CM Punk going down with the injury. I think that's the most obvious one. CM Punk going down with that injury threw everything into chaos, because maybe it would have been Cody versus Roman Reigns for the main event, because the strength of CM Punk alone, especially in the night one main event of WrestleMania, would have held up that card, which would have left room for you guys to kind of, experiment a little bit on the second card without going with the safe bet and The Rock. That's obvious, the biggest criteria as to why they probably sent The Rock out there. It's so fucking ironic too, right? With CM Punk's pipe bomb back in 2011 coming to fruition, most likely thanks to him. Rock screwed you over, and then Rock screwed over Cody Rhodes thanks to you, Punk. Talk about poetic justice, am I right? But that's one reason why I believe that they're probably doing what they're doing right now. Another reason overall is WWE and TKO. And you're probably saying to yourself, what do you mean, Devontae, WWE and TKO? They already put The Rock in a position. We know it's their fault overall. No. It goes beyond that, man. Go dig past the surface, man. Dig past the surface. The CM Punk stuff is probably number one. But a strong number two, and probably part of the confirmation process as to why they brought in The Rock, or why Rock even agreed to all of this, especially after plunking his money into those stocks, into those shares, as far as being a board member, because he got a shit ton of shares into all this. Which, by the way, I do find it funny that I haven't seen The Rock promoted for any movie lately. It's as if his movie career probably just took... I'm not saying that, I'm not sure, but, I mean... Could it be a possibility that The Rock, his movie career isn't looking like it was a couple of years ago, and now he's coming back to WWE? Who knows? Probably, but I don't care. The Vince McMahon scandals. The Brock Lesnar situation. You guys probably don't know this, maybe you do, but they're erasing Brock Lesnar off of everything right now. And I heard news that TK24 were going to downplay Brock Lesnar being in the video game. And with Vince McMahon being erased from everything, that's another person off of the card who could have probably held that card up a little bit stronger, and Brock Lesnar, who's not there. There's a lot of superstars who are injured. There are a lot of superstars caught up in a bunch of bullshit right now, and Brock Lesnar being one of their biggest superstars caught up in that bullshit probably was another reason why they brought, The Rock in. And the fact that they probably wanted a headline to get the Vince McMahon stuff out of everybody's minds. I think that was probably a strong reason as to why they did what they did. And like I said, if not the priority reason, it was definitely what kind of the straw that broke the camel's back as far as making the decision. We bring The Rock in, put him up against Roman Reigns, face to face. We can get everybody's minds off of this Vince McMahon bullshit. On top of the fact that CM Punk isn't around and we need something to kind of hold up our WrestleMania card for night 2, because we need to put Cody now in the card with Seth Rollins. That's probably what it was. If you want my honest opinion, that's what it was in the end of the day. That's for everybody who's pissed off at The Rock, and who knows, maybe Rock had a decision. He is one of the board members. He could say no if he really wanted to. That's the main priority. That's the main reason WWE is in a situation that they're in right now, because of the Vince McMahon stuff. That's who screwed Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Vince McMahon. Both in their own unique way, but both screwed Cody Rhodes in the end of the day. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things, like I said, they screwed The Rock, because I think Rock is very oblivious. I think he has his head up his own ass, and I don't think he's looking at the world around him right now. He's being very, very blinded by what he's currently seeing. Maybe, standing in the ring. I know he's been out of the wrestling business for a while as far as consistently, but I think he should probably go look on Twitter. I think he should take the time to go look on what on his social media pages. Nobody's really feeling The Rock right now. I personally don't mind it, because in the end of the day, it's I look at it as a situation where it's a spectacle that's gonna have a bunch of cameras flickering. I guess we don't have cameras nowadays in 2024, do we? But it's a spectacle that I really don't mind. It's like Rock and John Cena about 12 years ago. I think it's an awesome image. I think it's an awesome confrontation. My only problem is having the WWE Championship involved in all this. But that's still not going to take away from the fact that the situation has still occurred. And there's a good shot that they're going to boo the shit out of Rock coming at WrestleMania. And like I said, no one looks good out of all this. When it's all said and done, go back to my SmackDown review if you want a thorough breakdown of the segment. But no one looks good when it's all said and done in this entire situation. Nobody looks good. No matter how you spin it, no matter how you feel, even I, the guy who called this and said that I told you so, it ain't like I'm looking at this saying that this is a good thing. In the end of the day, Rock is going to get booed. Cody looks like a dumbass. There's a good shot we might get another year run from Roman Reigns, or he might drop the championship belt at the Elimination Chamber in the end of the day. Seth Rollins' belt looks like a fucking Intercontinental Championship belt. Gunther was probably screwed over by all this in the end of the day, if you take into account what happened earlier last year, or late last year, I guess, right? CM Punk is injured. Vince McMahon is in the situation he's currently in right now. The fans are probably going to get a match between Rock and Roman Reigns that they're not looking forward to. All the legends in the process got buried thanks to what they were trying to promote between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, which in the process made Roman Reigns bury Seth Rollins. There is not one slither of anything worth its salt coming out of this that's a good thing. And I just want to say, I like his booking style. But this also all comes back to how Triple H, WWE, and TKO ran this brand. Keep that in mind also. all this comes right back to Triple H, WWE, and TKO. With that being said, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P. Ice.